What's up, Space Cadets? So on my Tumblr a couple of days ago, it might have been a week ago now, I reblogged this D&D Asks game, and then someone on my Tumblr asked me if I could just answer all of them in a video. So that's what I'm doing. So Tumblr person, this is for you. I have been playing D&D I started in 2017, spring of 2017, so I guess around 2 years now, which doesn't seem like a long time, but I feel like a lot has happened to me in that time. And I've only really DM'd like twice. I mean, I ran a Vaporwave campaign that lasted about 4 or 5 weeks in January when I wasn't in school. So from like December to January, something, might have been like 6 weeks. I don't really remember. And I really, really enjoyed that. I've again been playing Reese for 2 years. I'm gonna be joining a new campaign after work slows down. This is a really busy season for us, so I'm doing nothing but working. If you notice that I've been absent for a little bit, it's just because I'm working. But I had enough energy to make a video today, so here we are. I actually filmed 2 videos today, and I might do a 3rd one, because I'm crazy like that. All right, so without further ado, I'm just gonna talk about D&D, talk about what I like about it. And I'm really excited because I haven't really looked at these questions, but I want to see what people say, or like, I don't know, I want to see what they are. I'm pumped because I don't read things before I reblog them oftentimes. I just look at it and go, that looks like something I like. I don't have the patience to read long posts on Tumblr. Without further ado, do you prefer to DM or play? I really honestly like both. I think I prefer to play. I really like playing. I really like playing as Reese. I've played other characters besides Reese, just so you all know. But I really enjoy playing. I really enjoy exploring and interacting with NPCs that have nothing to do with the campaign. We made best friends with Cloven and Curse of Strahd, just so everyone knows. He was our bestie. Anyways, I like to play. I like role-playing. I'm an actor, so that's why I'm often a bard, because bards oftentimes are more like, I don't know, like role-play based, because charisma and seduction. I don't really try to seduce people in our games because I think that would make our DM very uncomfortable. I think I have, though, before. I tried to seduce Irina. That's a story for another day. I dressed up as a prostitute once so that we could hijack a boat. But I really like DMing too, because I have all of these ideas in my head, and not all of them I think are good for books. I really like writing, but I think that D&D gives me a good outlet to tell a story without having to like write a novel or write a short story, because a lot of my thoughts aren't coherent. I don't know if you've noticed this about this channel, but I can't keep a linear thought. 90% of my thesis writing was, Rachel, you're talking in circles. You've said the same thing like 8 times. I know, I'm sorry. I'm like this. I'm spaced out 90% of the time. Yeah, I really like DMing. I really enjoyed the Vaporwave campaign. I still have ideas for that, but again, I'm working, so I don't have time to finish it. But that has been a joy. I like messing with my players. I like leaving little surprises for them. I like being able to hide secrets in the world that my players can discover or not discover. I'm a pretty heavy-handed DM, I believe, so they know, I guess, when things are important. Sometimes they don't. There's stuff they haven't found yet. Yeah, so I've enjoyed that a lot. It gives me a good outlet, because, I don't know, like, there wouldn't be a good way to write a Vaporwave novel about a lich in an abandoned mall. I hate run combat. I'm really bad at it, because I can't think linearly and numbers scare me. But I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I learned that if I put roleplay in the combat, it helps me focus a lot more. So when they just had this big fight with, like, this evil tree monster, I role-played as the tree, and it said things, and that was really, that helped me do good. Favorite class? Bard. Least favorite class? Paladin. Just because I played a paladin once, and it was a lot of, I know bards have a lot of multitasking, but I didn't like playing a paladin. I don't know why. It seems like it seems like a good concept for a class, but in playing it, I think in the actual playing of it, it just wasn't the mechanic for me. Favorite race? Tiefling. Least favorite race? Oh, I know. I don't think I like tabaxis, because cat people scare me. Like, I have a weird fear of cat people. It's just like a weird uncanny valley thing in my mind. Okay. I also, for favorite race, I also really like Tortles, because in that also campaign we also had Nordle the Tortle, and I will always miss Nordle the Tortle. Favorite spell, modify memory. I like fucking with people. It's just, there's so much potential, especially in roleplay. Like there's so much potential for that. I think modify memory is definitely up there and like one of my favorite spells. Favorite monster, Lich. I like liches bitches, just cause that's my campaign thing. It's liches. I also really like flumps. I put flumps in the campaign. I don't consider them monsters. I think they are friends. Flumps are shaped like friends. I like liches, I like flumps, I like gelatinous cubes. Oh, those just give me a hoot and a holler. They're annoying to fight, but I love the idea of there just being like a cube hopping around like a Minecraft slime. That really tickles me. I'm sure I have other favorite monsters in classes and stuff, but I didn't prepare for these questions because I wanted to keep it funky and fresh. What got you started? So, my friends started watching Critical Role in the spring of like 2017, maybe like 2016, maybe like fall of 2016. They had been wanting to play D&D for a while, and we decided that we were just gonna start up Curse of Strahd. I had to join late. I couldn't go into for like the first couple sessions because I was in a show at the time, so I couldn't miss rehearsal or anything, but we started playing Curse of Strahd, and that is where I came up with Reese, and we had an excellent time. Our DM is amazing. He puts so much time and effort into what we do, and so that whole experience was a really good experience. I've been fortunate to have a great group of people who really get along. So I kind of just had a friend group that got into D&D. I had never seen myself playing D&D. I actually have only seen like 2 episodes of Critical Role, which I know, don't come at me. I don't watch anything. I live in a cave and I don't go outside, and I don't use television. I just watch a bunch of YouTube videos about Pokemon. So I don't really watch things. I want to watch Critical Role. But anyways, we got into it. From what I know, just like it was a combination of people knew it and wanted to play because like their parents had played, and also Critical Role when they started watching it a lot. Do you listen to any D&D entertainment? I think I just went into that. Don't really watch Critical Role. I read the Adventure Zone graphic novel, and I have listened to a little bit of Adventure Zone, which, because the McElroy brothers own me. Not really, but I stand them for life, definitely. And I got to meet Travis one time. I like Adventure Zone. I think Adventure Zone really is my style of playing. I think ideally my style is like Critical Role X Adventure Zone. Like goofy, tons of goofiness, but also like really in-depth, like fleshed out characters and intrigue and all that kind of stuff. What is your favorite moment from any campaign you've played in? Oh, I have several, and I make videos about them, clearly. The Margaritaville thing was pretty good. You can watch that there. The Margaritaville thing was one of my favorite moments because what happened, you don't get this when I make those videos, you don't get like the behind the scenes stuff, but what happened with that was we fucked up really badly. And we had to like run away, I go into it, and I end up playing dead and get caught by some people in the town, and I had to go to jail, and everyone was freaking out. So our DM, in order to keep it like fair and non-meta, made me leave the room so I couldn't know what they were doing, and I was like, oh my god. So we split, and they talked about what they were gonna do to try to get me out, but I had no idea. So it was really interesting because then I had to make my own choices about what Reese would do in that scenario. And so my DM took me into another room, and he was like just describing like me going into jail and all the townspeople jeering at me and getting into like really stuff that deeply bothers Reese, because Reese doesn't really like being reminded that they're a tiefling because they see themselves as half human, half tiefling. So and just like baggage about being chased out of town before by an angry mob and all that stuff. And so like that was really getting to me from like a roleplay standpoint. And then I get in jail and I'm in there for the night, and then of course evil Reese appears, and it was just a really good roleplay moment because I could hear my friends like kind of through the other side of the wall, but it was just like jeering. But as I'm shaking the hand with Evil Reese to make the deal, my friend Dan from the other room, I could hear him yell, "We need to make sure we have a way for Reese not to sell their soul!" Like, just as me and my DM shook hands on the deal. So that was a 10 out of 10, I think, game moment that had ever happened, as well as the actual selling of my soul, because it was just insane. Like, the dice thing was crazy. I literally, like, I critically failed, and then there was, like, it was like critical fail, critical success, and it was like down to the wire with us, and I literally, I think, rolled 2 points above Evil Reese. So all of the roleplay stuff for me with Evil Reese in our game was phenomenal, and I love it, and it was a 10 out of 10 thing, like a really special thing that my DM did for me, and so that is definitely stands out to me as one of the most exciting, memorable moments from games that I've played. What's your favorite character you've played? Your favorite character someone else has played? Nordle the Tortle. Unquestionably Nordle the Tortle. As well as Daisy the Goliath in our Curse of Strahd campaign. Daisy and Reese were like BFFs. We can get into that someday. Daisy the Goliath, homeowner. How many campaigns have you been in? 4 full campaigns and then a bunch of little one-shots. Wait, yeah. Actually more like 5 or 6. Because some of them were like short, like 4-week kind of things, so they're all blending together in my mind. And that's counting the Vaporwave one, so probably more like 5 or 6. Do you like one-shots or can you do without them? I like them, I think they're fun, but I also don't care for them. I like campaigns more. I think one-shots are good if you want to like try out a class or like try out a character without fully committing to it. Like, I started Reese in a one-shot. Reese appeared to them in a dream, in a Cinnabon-induced fever dream, and then became part of the real campaign, which I think is peak Reese energy, honestly. Do you take notes? Yes, God, I take notes on everything. I also draw pictures in my notes. I have a joke that Reese keeps a diary, and so sometimes at the end of sessions, I'll be like, "Dear diary," and I'll like sum up what happened from Reese's perspective. And those are the notes. It's Reese's diary, as well as like actual important things that need to happen in the campaign. But I'm really bad at keeping track of like names, like NPC names, PC names, which is kind of why I take the notes, kind of help, but they're all really convoluted and I can't even often decipher my own notes afterwards, so really, does it matter? The diary entries really matter though, and the drawings. Those matter more than anything else. What is your ideal ending for either your character or for your current campaign party? One thing that we really haven't gotten into with Reese in any campaign that I've done is interacting with Reese's father, which I'm very interested in, because Reese has so much beef with their father, which you can also learn about there. That was really something that we never got to in any of the campaigns, and I would, ideally, in a perfect world, I kind of have this thing that I say in my head that like Reese eventually kind of makes amends with their father, in some one Reese universe. I also want to interact with Reese's mother, Maria. Haven't really had a chance to interact with her, so I guess my ideal ending with Reese is that they come to terms with who they are and a lot of their past, and kind of get over some baggage that they're carrying around. Reese is always going to be a wanderer. Reese is, never going to be able to sit in one location too long, but I think if Reese found a place where they knew that they belonged, I think that they would feel more secure as a person, and like a place that they were always welcome back to, I think is a better way to put it, because Reese doesn't feel like they belong anywhere, and that's why they keep moving from place to place and kind of drift listlessly through life with, like drinking their problems away. And I think Reese deep down really craves a place to belong. So I think that would be an ideal ending for Reese, which is the only character that I've ever played that I care about. Do you have a favorite NPC? Bjorn from a campaign that I did with some other friends at school. He was pretty cool. He died though. He died tragically. And Irina. We had a special spin on Irina that I'll just tell you. We had a special spin on Irina that made her a revenge paladin. and that was pretty awesome. Do you have any advice for new players? Oh my gosh, there's so much I could say for this. Definitely, I think don't be scared to try things. D&D is about like, it's just about having fun and exploration, and so you should feel open, like find a group where you feel allowed to explore and you feel allowed to experiment. To me, it's a game of trying things. It's just like, fuck it, I'll try it. And you know, like, I think sometimes when things go wrong, that's even better than when they go right. Like, that whole Margaritaville moment, that was me saying, fuck it, I'm just gonna try something that I wanna do and see what happens. And it was a horrible, horrible mistake, but like, I laugh about it, and it is one of my favorite moments in the campaign, and it was something that went terribly wrong, and it was something where I just said, fuck it, I'm gonna try it. And so I think that's my biggest thing for new players, is don't be afraid to try things. Your DM might not always be happy with you, because you might derail things, but that's also the point, is that, you know, it's like, it's just everybody kind of improvising together. So my advice for new players is don't be afraid to try things. And if you get really attached to a character, write endings that work for you if they don't happen in the campaign. In your mind, like if you get really bent up about a character because something bad happened, which can happen. I was really protective of Reese when I first played Reese because I was worried for them, and I'm getting over that. If you're like me, your characters will become very precious to you, and you'll get really defensive about their backstory and like your wants and desires for them because you want them to succeed, and they won't always succeed, and they might die. And what I can say about that is that if they die, hopefully you have a DM who makes that a good experience, not a heart-wrenching thing. And if that happens, you find some outlet, whether you like journal it or you just, you know, write like a little short story where they have their happy ending. Do what you need to do in order to find contentment with your character. Also, in terms of like building a character, work from flaw. I do that when I write things too. You're gonna have a more interesting character if you find the things about them that make them unique and even make them kind of where they are fallible. Like, I started Reese with two things, and it's that they are chronically running from their problems, and they have a drinking problem, which is related to the fact that they're chronically running from their problems. So really, Reese's flaw that I worked around was running from everything. And from there, everything just kind of bloomed out about Reese's personality. So I say when you build characters, work from flaw, because if everyone was perfect, no one would have personalities. Like, to me, personality is flaw. I think it will make your characters more interesting to play with. It will also give your DM things to challenge them with. Because if your DM knows, like Reese is constantly running from their problems, like having to immediately face them is going to be a challenge for Reese to overcome, and that's, you know, better roleplay for you, you know? So I 100% recommend working from flaw when you make characters as well. So 2 tidbits of advice. Always don't be afraid to try things, and when you make characters, work from flaw. Oh, and the third thing is find a way to have peace with your own sense of your character, because it will allow you to let go of your attachment to the outcome of the campaign, which is important because you never know what's gonna happen in the campaign. Any advice for new DMs? This is gonna be really controversial, and I might get some hate from this, but the numbers don't matter. Stipulation, the numbers don't matter as much as you think that they do. And let me explain what I mean by this. Our campaign is full of min-maxers because they're shitlords like that. So everybody in my group loves to max out their characters with all these numbers and shit, and it makes them feel really good to, like, you know, like have a hit and they get, like, you know, like they do like 20 damage. Like, it feels good, it's awesome. But as a DM, that makes them tear through enemies really quickly, and there comes a certain point where you have to just keep buffing the monsters. Like, I know our DM had to add, like, I think, like, a ton, maybe 100, 200, I don't know how much HP to each of the monsters that we fought, like the big ones, just because we would have ripped through them and not been challenged at all. So adjust for your party is, I think, really what I mean by the numbers don't matter, is that the numbers matter in a sense that you need to make them matter as in terms of your campaign. So if the monster manual says, like, this monster has like 300 HP. If your party's gonna tear through that in like 5 rounds and you want to challenge them with it, beef it up somehow. Don't be afraid to adjust the monsters. Always be ready to do things on the fly. You know, just feel out. You need to be able to read the table, and that, you know, can take a long time if you're not, like, I'm an actor, so I'm really good at like reading a room, but you know, you need to get a feel for what your players want, and you need to be able to adjust for that. Also, it's about you having fun too. You're not just there for your players. If DMing isn't fun for you, or there's something that you don't like, it's really important that you find a way to make it fun for you. Like I said, I really struggled with combat. Running combat did not make me feel good. It made me feel stupid, honestly, because I felt like I was so not good at it. And when I discovered that if I added roleplay into combat, it made me feel better. I was having so much more fun than I had in that campaign, because I loved the campaign. I love writing the Vaporwave campaign, and I love the world, but running it became really stressful, and it was because I wasn't prioritizing my own fun. So as a new DM, make sure that you're having fun too, because you know, you're there to serve your players, but if you're not having fun, no one else is gonna have fun. So I think that's all the questions. Yeah, that's all the questions. We did it. Yay! Yeah, those are my thoughts. So let me know if there's any other questions that you have about D&D, or what my thoughts or opinions on things. I love talking about D&D. And again, I'm just a wee bab, so I'm not pretending to be an expert on any of these subjects that I just spoke on, especially in terms of like advice. These are just my thoughts, and if you don't like my advice, then don't listen to it. That's all you gotta do. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to my channel. I try to get videos out every Tuesday. That's gonna be hard of recent just because of work, but I try super duper hard. But I'm also just a tired, exhausted being because of work. Yeah, subscribe. I put out new videos sometimes. I put out videos as Reese. I put out ASMR videos occasionally, but those are mostly a joke, but they're really popular, so I don't know what this channel is, but I hope that you subscribe because I love you. I love people that subscribe to my channel. All right, have a good day. Subscribe.